Today's topic is classification of invertebrates for class 9. The last kingdom from the Whittaker classification is the kingdom Animalia, which includes multicellular, eukaryotic and heterotrophic organisms. Most animals show a high level of tissue differentiation. The animal kingdom is divided into two groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. Invertebrates are animals without backbone. Vertebrates are animals with backbone. Now let us learn about invertebrates. Invertebrates is further classified into 9 phyla. Phylum Porifera, Phylum Cnidaria, Phylum Platyhelminthes, Phylum Nematoda, Phylum Annelida, Phylum Arthropoda, Phylum Mollusca, Phylum Echinodermata and Phylum Hemichordata. Now let us talk about Phylum Porifera. The Phylum Porifera includes spore-bearing animals, which are commonly called sponges. The name Porifera comes from two words, porous, which means pore, and ferre, which means to carry. The term Porifera was coined by Robert Grant, 1825. They shows cellular level of organization because they have loose cells aggregate to their body. They don't have tissue, organ system in their bodies. Poriferans are usually marine except a few that live in fresh water. Example, Spongilla, Euspongia. Poriferans are diploblastic animals. That is, two germ layers in the embryo, ectoderm and endoderm. These are non-motile animals attached to some solid support. The body is perforated by numerous minute pores called ostia. The ostia open into a large cavity called spongiocele. The spongiocele open to the outside by a large opening called osculum. They bear canal system or water transport system. Water enters through minute pores called ostia in the body wall into a central cavity spongiocele, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange and removal of waste products. Skeleton is made up of calcareous spicules and of sponginous fibers. Absence of mouth, digestive cavity and anus. Respiration, nutrition, excretion and reproduction take place with the help of water current. Asexual reproduction takes place by budding. Sexual reproduction takes place by fusion of male and female gamete. They possess great power of regeneration. That's all about Porifera. Now let us talk about phylum Cnidaria, were previously called Coelenterata. This phylum includes diverse forms such as jellyfish, corals and sea anemones. Cnidarians are mostly marine except Hydra, which is freshwater form. They may be sedentary or free swimming. The word coelenterate means hollow gut. These are the first multicellular animals with tissue grade of organization. The most important character of this phylum is presence of coelentron, that is, canal having only one opening towards outside the mouth. Body shows radially symmetry. Their body can be divided into equal halves by any plane passing through the center from top to bottom. Example, Hydra. Circulatory, respiratory and excretory systems are entirely absent. Mouth is surrounded by short and slender tentacles. They possess specialized cells called cnidoblast, which bear stinging organoids called nematocysts. Nematocysts serve the function of paralyzing the prey by injecting poison or to hold the prey. Asexual reproduction is by budding and sexual reproduction is by gamete formation. Cnidarians, like corals, have a skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms, polyp and medusa. The polyp forms are sessile and cylindrical. Example, hydra. Whereas the medusa are umbrella shaped and free swimming. Example, jellyfish. The polyp represent the asexual generation and medusa represent the sexual generation. That's all about cnidarians. Now let's see about platyhelminthes. In kingdom Animalia, the third phylum is Platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes is derived from the Greek words platy and helminthes. Here, platy means flat. Helminthes means worms. They have leaf-like or ribbon-like dorsoventrally flat body, so they are also known as flatworms. They are bilaterally symmetrical animals. The body of the animal can be divided into two equal similar halves through only one plane. They are triploblastic animals. They contain three layers. They are the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. Flatworms are the first and the simplest organism having an organ system. Flatworms do not have a definite skeleton but have a cuticle which protect their bodies. Flatworms have a highly branched gut with a mouth, but the anus is absent. A muscular suctorial pharynx is present for taking the food. Flatworms mark the beginning of cephalization. Cephalization is the development in the head region of light-sensitive organs called ocelli. For example, planaria have eye spot at the anterior end. Flatworms are mostly endoparasites of animals, including human beings. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms and serve as organs of attachment. Some of the parasitic flatworms absorb nutrients directly from the host through their body surface. Specialized excretory cells called flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. In flatworms, the central nervous system consists of a head ganglion connected to nerve cord which are interconnected across the body by transverse nerve connection. They are hermaphrodites, which means both male and female reproductive organs are present in the same animal. Some members like planaria show high regeneration capacity. Examples: liver fluke, tapeworm, and blood fluke. This is all about Platyhelminthes. Now let's talk about phylum Nematoda. This phylum is now named as Aschelminthes. The body of these worms is circular in cross section and hence are called round worms. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and pseudoxylomate animals with organ system level of organization. The body is unsegmented and covered by a transparent, tough and protective layer called cuticle. The alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed mouth, muscular pharynx, and anus. Excretory system consists of renal glands. The sexes are separate. Sexual dimorphism is a common feature. Males are usually smaller than the females. Examples: filarial worm, hookworm, and ascaris. The most common diseases caused by Ashelminthus in human beings are ascariasis and elephantiasis. That's all about nematodes. Now let's talk about phylum Annelida. It includes about 10,000 species. Annelids may be aquatic or terrestrial and are mostly found in soil. Earthworm and many other worms belong to the phylum Annelida of the animal kingdom. Phylum Annelida is a group of animals that show a very important step in animal evolution, that is in segmentation. Segments in annelids are usually ring-like structures. They are free-living or parasitic. They are bilaterally symmetrical. It means their body can be divided into two equal halves along the central line. Annelids have all three germ layers and thus are called triploblastic. They are coelomate animals, which means that they have a true body cavity or coelom. Annelids have organ system level of organization. If we look closely, we can see small unsegmented portion on its body. This is where reproductive organs are present. This region have pores called genital papillae for the entry of sperms. Annelids always have moist skin and respire through their skin. Annelids have soft, elongated, cylindrical, worm-like body which is externally protected by thin elastic portion called cuticle. Annelids have closed, segmentally arranged circulatory system. The digestive system of annelids is a complete tube with a pharynx to swallow food and also a stomach or gizzard to store and grinding the foods. Aquatic annelids like Nereis have lateral appendages called parapodia which help in swimming. Cytaneous setae in earthworms and suckers in leech help in locomotion. Mostly annelids are hermaphrodites. Regeneration is the common character in this phylum. That's all about Annelida. Thank you.